Alright, in today's video, we are going to be going over what I think are the best mono comps in Grand Summoners right now. And then we're going to put them on a little tier list, basically rating which element is the worst to which element is the best. So one more thing I want to address real quick is there is currently 98 Ascended units in Grand Summoners on Global. Over 100 on JP. So we are getting quite stacked with these Ascended units that are absolutely insane. And there's plenty of different comps you can make that are ridiculously OP. So in today's video, we are going to stick to just standard comps, because usually you're going to have to work around the boss's mechanic and that'll completely change your comp. But we are just going to focus on a standard comp with one sustain unit who is either going to be a shield or a healer. And then we're going to need 2 Archgeners who ideally have a bunch of damage buffs or other types of buffs. And then we have 1 damage dealer who's going to do a ton of damage. Okay, that is our standard layout for all of our comps. And then right here we have a little tier list where we're going to rank the elements. Okay, and then back to Grand Summoners right here. We're going to go into the compendium real quick and go over how I made my team comps. So I already have them all made. We're just going to go over how I reached my conclusion. So the sustain unit for Mono Fire, there isn't really many tanks or healers in Mono Fire, especially with the Ascended units. There's really only Kirisame, Valentine's Priscilla, Demiurge, and then we have like the Awoken units like Sandstone, and then there's a couple more, but that's pretty much it. And for our sustain unit, our tank, we are going to take Kirisame, because he is one of the best taunt tanks in the game. If the boss has Shield Killer, you might need to use Sandstone, but for the standard comp, we're just going to assume the boss doesn't have Shield Killer. And Kirisame is absolutely disgusting. He's on the team. Okay. And then our Archgener. We are taking Summer Iris as our first Archgener, because she is absolutely insane on Mono Fire. Like, I'm taking Summer Iris on Mono Fire over Hoka. Okay. She's that good. Her skill is ridiculous. Increase arts gauge by 50% times max gauge minus current. So basically, if she has 0 arts, her skill gives her 150. That's insane. And then right here, her passive, all allies damage taken 15% down, additional 15% for fire units. So whole team gets 30% DR. Kind of nice. And then her super art, this is basically you just super art spam with her. Autofills fire units arts gauge by 10 for 10 seconds. And a arch damage buff that maxes out at 250 depending on her health. Kind of a good unit. Kind of good. Really good Archgener, providing damage buffs and DR. Okay, and then our second Archgener, we have Valentine's Priscilla. Because she is a healer, she has the status cleanse, she has Archgen, she has fire res down, she has physical damage up, and DR right here. Okay. I'm not sure what her passives are. All allies fire damage 30% up. You know, she's just a great overall unit. She's going to be our healer cleanser kind of unit. So then we have a tank and a cleanser, but she's also an Archgener and a damage buffer. So she's just an amazing unit, and she definitely belongs on the Mono Fire comp. And then a little bit weird here. We're not really going to take a damage dealer. He does do plenty of damage, but Sunraku. He is going to make our comp even faster, right? He has evasion rate down, physical res down. He has crit res down. He has 6 arts a second. He has, this super art does so much damage. It's crazy. So a big nuke on his super art that is also going to give him crit rate up, and we have crit rate down. So like, if the boss has crit res, Sunraku doesn't care. He still crits him. And then this passive right here, fire units damage taken 15% down. This stacks with Summer Irises. So the DR is a little bit crazy. Combine that with Kirisame, and your Mono Fire comp is not dying. This comp is so tanky, it's ridiculous. Okay, so that's going to be it for our Mono Fire comp. So once again, here it is. We have Kirisame, Summer Iris, Valentine's Priscilla, and Sunraku. There's not really a dedicated damage dealer on here, but that Sunraku super art does so much damage that it doesn't even matter. It's ridiculous. And there's so much Archgen on this team that you can just spam everybody's super arts and true arts over and over and over. And then we are going to get on to the water comp. So water comp, the first unit on our water comp is going to be Toma. So once again, if the boss has Shield Killer, can't really use Toma, then you'd probably opt for like Shiro or Beta, because they're also amazing units. But if the boss doesn't have Shield Killer, I do think Toma is better than Shiro and Beta. I love using Toma. He's an amazing unit because his arts has arts gauge, right? It has a stacking damage buff that adds to his super art multiplier. What else? We got 200% damage up to fire, light, and dark enemies, and this should stack with every buff in the game. Okay. We have his super art, which is going to increase his own arts by 100. So basically, if you use his super art, you have enough arts to do his art again. So he always has this shield up. Always. And it's going to increase damage to enemy by 100%. He has a ton of arts on his skill. Passives, he has the Imagine Breaker passive, which is ridiculous. Basically, if he ever takes lethal damage, he just won't die for 5 seconds. He becomes unkillable for 5 seconds. He's an amazing unit. He has built-in freeze and paralysis res. That's ridiculous. He is such a good unit, and more than Shiro and Beta, he just has more supporting capabilities. Beta does have that giant damage up, but Toma has more. Like, I just like Toma, okay? I love using him. And then we have Hoka. Obviously, Hoka's on the team comp. It's Hoka. He is one of the best units in the game. This super art is ridiculous. It's one of the best arts in the game. Passives, he has 20% max HP up for everybody. He has Equip CT up. He has Evasion Rate up. Again, super art, ridiculous. Just read it. It's ridiculous. He has 2 5-star support slots. Amazing. He has crit res down, water res down. He has accuracy up, attack up. He has so many good things. He's a pseudo healer if you get him to LB7 because his skill has heals, and that heal slot in there, you can like get an insect staff on him. He becomes a pretty nice healer too. So obviously he's on the team. He's an amazing unit. And then we have HK Roy. Obviously he's on the team. Another one of the best units in the game. Mono Water is pretty stacked. So his super art and his Phantom Bullet, absolutely insane. 7 arts a second is so much. 150% physical damage up, amazing. And then his Phantom Bullet just speeds everything up. It's so good. He also has that physical damage taken 50% down if he's the leader. So definitely throw him at the leader just to get an extra insane amount of DR. And then we need our damage dealer. So this one was a little tough because we do have some heavy hitters on Mono Water. We got like Jay, who has that stacking damage up on his super art. We have Sanosuke, who has stacking damage up on his super art. But the unit I went with is going to be Comet Streak Valerie. Number 1, because I think she's really cool. But number 2, she also does an insane amount of damage. Because if you look right here, we got water units damage 200% up. Great. We have attack 150% up. That plays into her super art, which gets attack times 10% added to the super art damage multiplier. Okay. Like it already has 180k. Let's assume for a second she's got what? Like 5k attack. 150% up. What are we at now? 12.5 times 10. That adds 125,000% multiplier. We're now at a 305% multiplier. 305,000% multiplier. And that's not counting like the attack up crest, the attack up everything else. She's going to have more than 5,000 base attack. And she has damage up by 60% times number of units with 70% or more HP. So 240% damage up. Main point is she has a ridiculous amount of damage. So she's going to be our DPS for Mono Water. So here's our Mono Water team. We have Toma, Hoka, HK Roy, and Valerie. Ridiculous team, does an insane amount of damage. Okay. And then we're going to go to Earth. See, and this is where we have a problem. Earth, Ascended specifically, is quite poverty. So for our sustain units, there really isn't a healer for the Ascended. And then in terms of DR, we do have a couple units with DR. We have War God Fen, we have Pola, we have Evil Eye, we have Okaroon. They all have DR, but none of them are really tanks. So we have to go to the Awoken units for our tank. And that's going to be Volti LR. He's an amazing tank unit. Really, really good, solid. But, you know, like Mono Earth really needs an Ascended tank. Like that's a unit that needs to be made. Where's my Ascended Eagle? Okay. And then for our first Archgener, we once again will be going back to the Awoken units because there is a sleeper amongst these units. You might think I'm going for Heart. I'm not. I'm going for Princess Leone. Summer Leone, right? True Art. Increase all allies' arts gauge by 30. Increases all allies' crit rate by 100%. Autofills Earth units' arts gauge by 4 for 25 seconds. Okay. And then the Dream Awakening, you can get the autofills Earth units arts gauge by 2, so she has even more archgen for Earth allies. But her art is kind of ridiculous. Increases allies' single true or super art damage by 160%. Earth units get an extra 160%. So she's giving an Okaroon super art an extra 320% damage. That's ridiculous. Like, this is such a good art. She's so overlooked, in my opinion. She's an amazing unit, especially on Mono Earth teams. Pretty much only on Mono Earth teams, because that's all her Archgen is for, and that's all the extra 160% is for. So, on a Mono Earth team, Summer Leone is amazing. Outside of Mono Earth team, she's buns. But we're only talking about Mono Earth here, so she's going to be our first Archgener on that Mono Earth comp. And then, back to the Ascended units, our second Archgener is going to be, obviously, War God Fen. War God Fen is an amazing unit, right? He has Archgen. He has the crit, which we don't really need because we already have it from Summer Leone. But he also has this super art, which does a ton of damage. But mainly, we need him to be the leader. We need this tactics for speed, just because we can get it super, super fast. We get 30% DR for the first 45 seconds of the quest if he's the leader. And then his art, we have equipment CT speed and accuracy up. Okay, so there's our two Archgeners. And then our damage dealer, it's pretty obvious we're going Okaroon. Best unit in the game, obviously he's going on this comp. This True Art is ridiculous. This Super Art is ridiculous. Put them on the same unit, it's insane. I don't know who signed off on this kit. And then we go right here to his passives. Jumpstart, the best passive in the game. He has a ratio passive, another one of the best passives in the game. And then he just has 30% DR for 2 minutes for the whole team. Another one of the best passives in the game. I don't understand how his kit got cleared. It's so much better than anyone else's kit. It's ridiculous. He just has so much. So much. Obviously, he is on the team. So, our Mono Earth team is going to be Voltialar, Summer Leone, War God Fen, and Okaroon. The reason Summer Luvia and Rin is not on here is because, we need a tank. Because otherwise, the team kind of just dies. And then our damage dealer is already Okaroon, who's going to do so much more damage. But then we need two Archgeners. We need them. So there's not really room for Summer Luvia and Rin. You might be able to swap around the team comp a little bit and put in Heart, War God Fen, Summer Luvia and Rin, and Okaroon. So that might be a good team comp. But this is the one we're going with. Voltialar, Summer Leone, War God Fen, and Okaroon. Okay? And then we have our light team. So I've made a couple videos recently on some of these units, like Young Emp, like Index. They are ridiculous. They are insane. The Mono Light comp is so good. It's broken. So obviously the first unit on our Mono Light comp is going to be Young Emp. And this man is everything you want in a unit. This super art is ridiculous. Increase all allies arts gauge by 50. So it has Archgen on here. And it has a 200% stacking buff. His skill gives him 100 arts. I don't even know what his passives are, but I'm sure they're broken. All allies arts gauge 30 up. Passive crit rate. He's disgusting. He is one of the best units in the game. I love using him. He's so good. So he's obviously on our team. And then we have, in my opinion, an underrated unit. A lot of people in the Discord think she's mid, but SGL is an insane unit. There's no denying it. Her True Art has 60% equip CT speed. She literally just makes your equips twice as useful. Light units damage 150% up, and then her Super Art, based on her HP, 300% damage up. There's no doubt in my mind that if this Super Art wasn't magic damage up and it was just damage up, she would be one of the best units in the game. I still think she's one of the best units in the game, but if this was just normal damage up, I would be using her all the time because I love equip CT speed. It basically makes it so all my defense equips are up 100% of the time. My support equips are twice as useful. Literally, all of my equips are twice as useful. It's amazing. And then passives, she has her Ether Recast, which is ridiculous. And HP heal effect 20% up. If you get her to LB7, you can put a Betsfald in her 4-star heal. And that already gives a 40% heal to light units. Pair that with a 20% effect up. Like, her healing is kind of ridiculous. So she's definitely on the comp. And then our next unit is going to be our damage dealer, Railgun. Railgun is kicking out some ridiculous damage here, okay? Because she has attack up right here. She has crit res down. She has 50% stats up. She has a super art that does 220,000% damage. That also has 150% light res down. And it's going to refresh her magic equips. And she has a ratio passive. And she has 100% damage up when she's not affected by status ailment. And she's on mono light. One of the best teams in the game. So, put all that together, you get one of the best damage dealers in the game. So, I love using Railgun. She's absolutely broken. Her super art animation is super fast, too. So, it's literally just boom. Like, she flips out her quarter or whatever it is from the anime and just... boss is gone. Okay? And then another Archgener kind of flex unit here, we have Index. I love Index. She's absolutely busted. So, her whole kit, I just made a video on her. Her whole kit is crazy. So, Archgen right here, DR right here. Damage up right here. Damage res down right here. Okay, we have a little bit more DR. And then we have Archgen right here. She literally has everything. She has heals in her skill. She is an all-in-one unit done perfectly right. I love using Index on my Monolight Magic team, and this is our Monolight Magic team. It's going to be Young Emp, SGL, Railgun, and Index. So, absolutely insane comp. And then we're going to go to our Dark comp. The Dark comps, I don't really like too much. Like, obviously, there's MDD, which is kind of crazy, which is like any combination of the demon units on Dark. They're pretty good, but I don't think that's the best Dark comp in the game right now. I think there is one that is a little bit better. So... correct me if I'm wrong. Like, feel free to leave your opinion in the comments if you do think MDD is better than this comp. But my favorite comp right now is going to be Gamagori as our tank, because bro's literally like unkillable. He has so much DR, especially if you get Truth of Eternity equips on him. He is disgusting. And then Shadow, who is, in my opinion, the best Dark unit by a long shot. He's insane. He's so good. Especially on Mono Dark. Like, he's insane on every comp just because he's Shadow. But then you go to his passives and autofill Dark units arts gauge by 5 when Shadow's HP is 70% or more. So this doesn't even, like, you barely use this unless you're on a Dark comp. And usually Shadow's honestly not even on Mono Dark. He's just on most comps because he's that insane. So he's got to be on here. So that's why we're not using MDD, pretty much just because Shadow exists and he's absolutely insane. And then our next Archgener is going to be Samurai Demon Lord Rimuru. Because for the physical team, Samurai Demon Lord Rimuru is ridiculous. So max HP up, next super arts damage 150% up. We have reduced physical res by 100%, autofills arts gauge by 6, type F. And then we have a pretty chunky super art here. Does kind of a lot of damage. If he is the leader, all allies damage taken 20% down for first 70 seconds of the quest. So make him the leader. He has 50% status ailment res across the board. Pretty solid unit, right? I really wanted to get him. Unfortunately didn't. Hopefully will when it reruns this year. Or I guess next year, technically. But the last unit on our Dark comp is going to be Halloween Forte. She recently got buffed, and she's just even better now. So she has the Equip CT that I'm always talking about. It's busted. Equip CT is so broken. And then we have her True Art, Archgen, Type B Archgen, Dark Res down. We have her Super Art, increases Dark units damage and break power by 250%. Ridiculous. Her slots are really good, too. She has 5-star sup, 5-star defense, 5-star sup, or 4-star heal. Or 4-star sup, 4-star heal. And then her passives, all allies damage 50% up times number of races in the party. So we're going to get 100% damage up just because we have 2 different races. This is just like a little cherry on top. Okay, so that would be my Mono Dark comp. It's going to be Galmagori, Shadow, Demon Lord, Samurai Rimuru, and Halloween Forte. So now we have all 5 of our comps, and we need to put them on this little tier list. Starting with the worst, we're going to work our way up, obviously. So starting with the worst, I feel it is very obvious which one is the worst. You should definitely be able to tell. And maybe I didn't give them a fair comparison. Maybe their team comp that I chose wasn't the best. But I really don't think you can choose a team comp that puts them above any other element. They're just kind of weak as a mono team. But they do have some of the best units in the game that can just support other teams. But mono team, not the greatest. Earth. It is the worst mono comp team. And then next up, this one's kind of rough. There is 2 that I think could go here, and they could easily swap places in the good and okay tier. So it's kind of hard for me to pick one, honestly. But I think I'm going to put Fire in okay. And it could go in good. The thing with Fire is there's so many good units in Fire. There's so many different comps you can make. But the best one isn't as good as the Mono Dark comp. I think there's more good Mono Fire comps than there is Mono Dark comps. But I think the best Mono Dark comp is better than the best Mono Fire comp. If that tracks, if that makes sense. If you're picking up what I'm putting down, right? I think that makes sense. So this is what it's going to be like. But if we're going overall as an element, Fire is better because there's just more units that are really good. But Dark just has the best mono comp. So I guess we'll leave it like this for the sake of the video, because that's really what we're comparing is the best mono comp. And next up, obviously these 2 is what it was going to come down to, right? We have our Mono Light and our Mono Water. So which one is the best element in the game? Mono Light has had some absolute heaters recently. Some of the best units are coming out on Mono Light. But Mono Water has consistently had some of the best units. We have Shiro, Beta, Hoka, Toma, HK Roy. We have just so many good units on Mono Light, right? Or on Mono Water. But there's also so many good units on Mono Light. We have Young Emp, we have Frieren, SGL, we have Railgun, we have Index. But which one's better? Which one of those teams that I chose was better? Honestly, I think Mono Water takes it. I think this is what it's going to look like. But the light team wasn't the best light team. There is one light team that is better than Mono Light Magic. And that is the Mono Light Physical team. And that would be Young Emp, Kenshin, Hiro Saitama, and Frieren. And that team is absolutely ridiculous. And that's going to put Light at number 1. So here's the best team comp in the game, I think. It's going to be Young Emp, Kenshin, Saitama, and Frieren. It's absolutely disgusting. Well, the best mono comp. I think there is one comp that is a little bit better, but it's not a mono comp. And if you guys really want to know, I think it's Toma, and then like Hoka, Okarun, Shadow. That comp is ridiculous. Or instead of Shadow, HK Roy. Comp is insane. But the Mono Light comp with Young Emp, Kenshin, Saitama, and Frieren is probably the best mono comp in the game. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. Like, do you think the Mono Water comp is better than the Mono Light comp? Or do you think the Mono Light comp is better than the Mono Water comp? I don't really think there's an argument for any of the other mono teams being the best. But let me know down below if you think this is accurate. Or do you think maybe Mono Earth isn't the worst? Like, maybe I just gave them a bad representation. Maybe they're not that bad. I think they are. I think they're by far the worst. But just let me know what you think about this. And yeah, that's going to be it for this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, join the Discord. The link is in my channel description. And yeah, that's it. See ya!